Howdy hobbyists. Today's video is about humility, perseverance, mistakes, and loads of folly. The task today is to build a floating frame for a 10 by 10 canvas painting. I've got my sample there. And right now I'm just kind of thinking things out, trying to lay stuff out. I'm going to basically create one side of the four sides and use it as a template to do the others. Now, I just have to qualify this and tell you, I'm not great at miters. I am scared to death doing frames. They are exceedingly difficult without the right equipment and jigs and all that sort of thing, like at a frame shop, like a pro. You've got to improvise and be dead on with your cuts. Watch as I go. It's not my best project. It's not my best video. Loads of mistakes, both my video capture and in the woodwork. But with that said, a little perseverance, a little elbow grease, and the willingness to accept the fact that you're not perfect and you can continue to work on things until you can get them just the way they need to be. Cutting the 45s really isn't that big of a deal. With a good miter saw, which I believe I have, you can get right dead on, and these are really good. The trouble comes up getting them jointed and glued up. I don't have a good way to compress that joint. So there I've got the glue on, I'm pressing it in and clamped on one side, and I'm pressing as hard as I can, and then I'm going to just secure that press with another clamp and then use some 18 gauge brad nails. I will fill those holes with wood dough. They'll cover up just fine. You won't even notice them. This is not the ideal way to do it. I really need to figure out a way to compress that joint so that that miter is really tight when it glues up and super flush. Ultimately, if I do more of these, I'm going to have to build a jig to build frames in or get some frame clamps. But you'll notice my frame is really wide. It's a really thick, heavy frame. This is alder wood. It's soft, very pliable, and it's also unforgiving in all the little mistakes that you make, nicks and grinds and that stuff. It picks them up really easily. So there's some issues trying to get these things nice and flat. Here, obviously, this is not good. This is not fine finish carpentry or furniture building. My thought is, if this was for a client, I would definitely trash it and do it all again. The miters are not as tight as I want them to be, but this is mine. And I know I can make it look better with good finishing techniques, good sanding, and a little bit of, I don't know, spitballing ideas and take some of that pliable nature of the wood to my advantage. So that's what I'm going to do here. Because of the nature of this poorly focused shot, you can't see the mistake, the tragic mistake that's about to happen. Just as I turn the corner, you'll see right before I get to the original bevel mark, that tears out right there. Yeah, this project, I thought I was really doing pretty good, recovering all the joints, getting everything nice and smooth, and that tear out is tragic. So, time to rally and get after it. Success. I think I've done a pretty good job of repairing it. It's not perfect, but it looks good for my house. Again, this probably would disqualify the whole project for a client, but I'm pretty sure I can get this thing looking just the way it needs to look. And that little fix right there is something I've never done before. So a good test of skills and little perseverance in trying to blend things together. Give it a try if you ever have the opportunity. It's deep, so a lot's going to have to come off. I did 2 coats of the tung oil and just wasn't getting the depth and the sheen that I wanted to get. So we'll rely on this, what's left of this can of polyurethane, and see how that comes out. And to be honest with you, super happy with it. Took 4 coats, but super happy with it. A little perseverance, a lot of humility. Am I happy with it? You're darn right I am.